Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Morgan and I'm Council's Chief Executive Officer. I extend a warm welcome to the gallery here at the Cobram Civic Centre and those joining us via live stream for this afternoon's scheduled meeting of Council. Consistent with section 13.3 of our governance rules, Council officers have been authorised to record the public session of this meeting using appropriate recording devices. I now turn to the Chair for the prayer and acknowledgement of traditional owners.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Could I please ask people to rise whilst I read the prayer and acknowledgement of traditional owners? Almighty God, we humbly ask you to guide our deliberations for the welfare and benefit of the Moira Shire and its people whom we serve. Moira Shire Council acknowledges the Yorta Yorta Nation as the traditional owners of this land. We recognise the deep spiritual connection to land, waterways and community of the 8 clan groups of the Yorta Yorta Nation. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Please be seated. A very warm welcome to today's scheduled council meeting of the Moira Shire Council being held in the Civic Centre here in Cobram. We do extend a welcome to those members of the gallery who have joined us today in person, and we also extend a welcome to those who are joining us via our streaming service. Item 4 on this evening's agenda is apologies and leave of absence. Are there any requests for leave of absence? If not, we'll take it there's no requests. Are there any matters of conflict of interest to be declared in relation to matters on tonight's agenda? If not, we'll take it there are no conflicts of interest to be declared. Item 6 on the agenda is the confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. We do have a recommendation before us tonight. Is there a mover for this item?
Yes, Chair. I'd like to move that the minutes of the scheduled council meeting held on Wednesday, the 24th of June, 2026, and the minutes of the unscheduled meeting of council held on Tuesday, 30th of June, 2026, as presented, be adopted.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak as mover of the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. We'll now move to item 7, which is administrator addresses. On Thursday, the 25th of June, both Administrator Benedica and I had the opportunity to attend the Cobram Football Netball Club's training night. It was a really enjoyable evening spent with club members, supporters and a range of volunteers. The club plays a vital role in the social and sporting life of Cobram, and Council is committed to supporting these community groups across the Shire. On Saturday, the 27th of June, I attended Yarrawonga Health's Centennial Black Tie Ball held at the Silverwoods Resort in Yarrawonga. The evening celebrated 100 years of care, compassion and community by Yarrawonga Health, which is a truly significant milestone. And it was a wonderful occasion with the event raising funds for the planned expansion of the emergency department and dialysis unit at Yarrawonga Hospital. These are both upgrades that will strengthen local healthcare services for years to come. And we do extend our congratulations to the board and the staff of Yarrawonga Health on reaching this centenary milestone, and we thank all those who contributed to the fundraising of the evening. On Monday, the 13th of July, I attended the Numurkah Rotary Club as their guest speaker, and this was a great opportunity to provide club members with an update on Council's various activities and the many projects and initiatives currently underway across the Shire. Service clubs are the backbone of our community, and I extend our sincere appreciation to the Numurkah Rotary Club for the invitation and for their ongoing contribution to their community. On Tuesday, the 14th of July, administrators and our CEO, Matthew Morgan, met with State Member for Ovens, Tim McCurdy, and the Member for Shepparton, Kim O'Keefe, to provide an update on Council's activities and to reconfirm our key election priorities for the Moira Shire. As we approach the November state election, Council has been actively engaging with representatives of the various political parties to highlight community priorities that require state government support. These priorities include the Numurkah Flood Protection Stage 2 levy, major road safety intersection upgrades across the Shire, a new police station in Cobram, the replacement of the Yarrawonga-Moala Bridge, a new sports pavilion at Scott's Reserve in Cobram, and better education outcomes for our various schools across the Shire. We are seeking commitments from all the political parties to support these vital projects, and we look forward to continuing those important conversations in the lead up to the state election. Yesterday, Administrator Benedica and our CEO Matthew and our Infrastructure Director Rachel Gadd had the opportunity to meet with the Office of Minister Kilkenny, the Minister for Finance, to continue our discussions around securing the former Yarrawonga Primary School site for the Yarrawonga community. This unique 3.4 hectare site has been unused since 2018 and holds enormous potential as a community asset. The Yarrawonga community has a long and well-documented connection to this land, and it is Council's view that it should be returned to community hands. Council has requested that the State Government approve the transfer of the site to Council at a price that is consistent with the community purpose valuation and reflective of the community's prior land contribution to make way for the new school. Council is ready to proceed. An independent prudential report has been completed. Community consultation has been addressed and all supporting documentation is now in place. The only remaining step now is to reach agreement on the transfer price with the state government, and we are hopeful that the state will support this important outcome for the Yarrawonga community, and we look forward to progressing these discussions to a positive conclusion over forthcoming weeks. With that, I'll move to Administrator Benedica for your monthly address.
Thank you. July has provided a number of opportunities to connect with communities across Moorish Shire, including celebrating First Nations culture and recognising the important contribution of local service, sporting and community organisations. On Wednesday, the 8th of July, I had the privilege of attending Danya Day at the Danya Centre in the Barmah Forest on Yorta Yorta country. Organised by the Yorta Yorta Nation Aboriginal Corporation as part of NAIDOC Week, this year's event recognised the 2026 theme, 50 Years of Deadly, celebrating 5 decades of strength, resilience, achievements and leadership of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. The event attracted thousands of people. The day also marked the official opening of the revitalised multi-million-dollar Danya Centre precinct. The updated precinct includes new interactive touchscreen displays, refurbished bunkhouse accommodation for school groups, enhanced meeting and gathering facilities, and outdoor yarning and fire pit spaces. These facilities will support cultural education, tourism, community connection and schools programs. It was a privilege to share the day and recognise the enduring strength and culture of the Yorta Yorta people. Moorish Shire Council looks forward to its continuing partnership with the Yorta Yorta Nation Aboriginal Corporation. On Thursday, 16th of July, Chair Administrator Emerson and I attended a training night and the regular weekly dinner at the Catabatite Football Netball Club. The visit gave us the opportunity to see the club's facilities in use, watch training and spend time talking with club and community members over dinner. We've been making similar club visits across the Shire as a valuable way to meet people in their own communities and better understand how local facilities are used and supported. These visits also give us the opportunity to hear directly what is working well, where facilities may need attention, and just as importantly, hear some of the great stories about the people and club legends who've contributed over many years. It was great to see strong community support for the Catabatite Football Netball Club, and we wish them very well for the remainder of the season. On Friday the 17th of July, I joined the Many Mobs Cultural Walk, which this year celebrated its 10th anniversary. The walk celebrates Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture, connection and community. Many Mobs Indigenous Corporation is a grassroots Aboriginal-led organisation building strong connections across the Yarrawonga-Moala community. Its work focuses on strengthening culture and community, bringing people together across cultures and backgrounds and supporting connection to country. The walk itself brought together community members, school students and supporters. I acknowledge the leadership and commitment of many mobs and those who continue to support its work across the community. On Saturday, the 18th of July, I attended the Yarrawonga Lions Club changeover dinner. The annual changeover provided an opportunity to recognise the contribution of the club and its members to the Yarrawonga community and to acknowledge its leadership. Congratulations to President Peter Ormsby, who continues in the role for a second year. The Yarrawonga Lions Club contributes to the community through fundraising, community support, advocacy and events, and I wish Peter and the club well for the year ahead. On Sunday the 19th of July, I attended the Central Murray Sunrise Rotary Club changeover lunch, which provided an opportunity to reflect on the club's achievements over the past year and mark their transition in leadership. The club makes a strong contribution to the Yarrawonga community and beyond through fundraising, community projects and support for local initiatives. It has a particular focus on young people, including establishing and supporting an Interact Club at Yarrawonga P12 College. The club also presents its annual Employee Excellence Award, recognising outstanding apprentices, trainees and administration staff across the Yarrawonga-Mulwala area. Congratulations to incoming President Dennis Haslam and thank you to outgoing President Leonie Orr for her leadership and commitment over the past year. It was really good to join members in recognising another year of community service and volunteerism. Today, Chair Administrator Emonson and I attended the Numurkah Senior Citizens Club annual general meeting. This club, which is very active and engaged, provides an important place for older members of the community to connect, participate in activities and enjoy the company of others. The AGM itself provided an opportunity to acknowledge the committee and volunteers whose contribution keeps the club active and welcoming. Council really values the role of organisations such as the Numurkah Senior Citizens Club in supporting social connection and participation for older residents across the Shire.
Thank you, Administrator Benedica. We'll now move to section 8 on this evening's agenda, and that is officer reports for determination. The first of those is item 8.1, the 2026-27 Local Sports Infrastructure Fund, and I'd invite the Director of Community, Mr. Scott Williams, to present this report.
Thank you, Chair. Council's identified a significant opportunity to improve local community sporting infrastructure in Yarrawonga through the Sport and Recreation Victoria's Local Sports and Infrastructure Fund. So that's under the community facility stream. This report seeks Council's endorsement to submit an application and Council's contribution for the redevelopment of Victoria Park Junior Cricket Oval and the practice nets in Yarrawonga. A project will deliver lasting benefits for the community and for the broader Shire. So the proposed redevelopment encompasses the extension of the Junior Cricket Oval to meet Cricket Australia facility standards, as well as the construction of a covered and fully enclosed practice net facility with lighting and retractable nets. And just to confirm, the current nets will remain for community use in addition to this facility. So if endorsed tonight and successful in the application progress, these works will create a modern multi-purpose facility supporting cricket, soccer, netball, football and community use all year round. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. I'm happy to move that Council Number 1 endorse the submission of an application to Sport and Recreation Victoria's 2026-27 Local Sports Infrastructure Fund Community Facility Stream for the redevelopment of the Victoria Park Junior Cricket Oval and practice nets in Yarrawonga. Number 2, endorse a council financial contribution of $171,023.24 towards the project, comprising $50,000 brought forward from council's 10-year capital works program, which is currently allocated in the 27-28 financial year, and $121,023.24 from council's cash reserves contingent on the application being successful. And number 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or a delegate of the Chief Executive Officer to execute any documentation required to give effect to this resolution. Is there a seconder for that motion?
Yes, Chair, I'll second that motion.
This report tonight is an ideal opportunity to attempt to secure external funds to improve recreation facilities within the Shire. And the particular development that's being supported via this motion tonight is the redevelopment and expansion of the junior cricket oval and practice nets in Yarrawonga. And this application and proposal has been previously submitted but was not successful in previous round. And I'm really pleased to see that there has been a concerted effort to work with Sport and Recreation Victoria, with our own council staff and members of the Cricket Association to further refine this application to hopefully improve its opportunity of success in the 26-27 funding round. If successful, this will be a major improvement of sporting and recreation facilities in Yarrawonga, and in that basis, I'm very happy to be supporting this proposal that's before us here tonight. Do you wish to speak as the seconder of the motion?
This application is a repeat application, but it is really good to see the work that's been done to strengthen the application. And I particularly like to congratulate the community groups who have been behind this for their persistence, and also for seeking feedback from State Sport and Recreation Victoria, so that they were able to get the feedback to hopefully get this one over the line. So congratulations to the community, and I look forward to this going in as a submission that receives positive attention.
Thank you, Administrator Benedika. With that, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 8.2 on this evening's agenda is C04725, provision of after-hours ranger services, and I would invite the Director of Sustainable Development, Mr. Brian Sword, to present this report.
Thank you, Chair. Administrator Emerson. This report seeks Council's approval to award the contract for the provision of after-hours ranger services, replacing the current contract which expires on the 31st of August. Following a competitive tender process, Foresight Australia Proprietary Limited was identified as the preferred supplier, demonstrating strong local government experience, qualified staff, a local presence, and best overall value for money outcome for Council. The contract provides for an after-hours call centre to receive and manage customer inquiries, response to stock-on-road incidents, stray animal management, and attendance to serious dog attacks. These services are important for public safety, animal welfare, and Council's statutory obligations outside normal business hours. This contract ensures continuity on the essential community safety service. This was subject to a competitive tender process, and the evaluation panel determined that Foresight Australia Proprietary Limited provided the best overall value for money outcome for Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sword. Is there a mover for this item tonight?
I'd like to move that Council, number 1, award the schedule of rates contract C047/25, provision of after-hours ranger services to Foresight Australia Proprietary Limited for an initial term of 3 years, commencing 1st of September 2026, with an option to extend in 2 periods of 1 year for a maximum contract period of 5 years. 2, note that the anticipated expenditure against this contract in the first year is approximately $96,516, excluding GST, and will be paid in accordance with the contract rates. 3, note that the contract rates shall remain fixed for the first term and will be subject to rise and fall for the subsequent terms. And 4, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or a delegate of the Chief Executive Officer to finalise and execute the contract documentation, sign and approve any contract extensions within the provisions of the contract up to a maximum of 5 years.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak as the mover of the motion?
This refers to an important contract, some important services that are offered that are after-hours services provided on call. That these are incidents that are outside normal hours. They do require a fair amount of work. And the reason that's come to Council is that it's outside the delegation of the Chief Executive Officer. I'm very happy to support this.
Thank you, Administrator Benedika. With that, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 8.3 is Moira Shire Arts and Culture Grant Program Guidelines. And again, I'd invite the Director of Community, Mr. Scott Williams, to present this report.
Thank you, Chair. Arts and culture play a vital role in the social fabric and identity of our Shire, and increasing community participation in arts and cultural programs is a key priority under Pillar 3 of our Council Plan. These guidelines are critical to achieving those goals, as they establish a clear and accessible framework for the delivery of Council's arts and culture grants, outlining funding streams, eligibility criteria, assessment processes, and expectations for funded organisations. The updated guidelines reflect feedback from 67 submissions, resulting in improvements to process clarity, application flexibility, eligibility, and alignment with Council's tourism and cultural priorities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a mover for this item tonight?
I would like to move that 1, Council note the feedback received on the draft Moira Shire Arts and Culture Grants Program Guidelines following community engagement conducted in accordance with Council's community engagement policy. And 2, adopt the Moira Shire Arts and Culture Grants Program Guidelines as presented in Attachment 1.
And I'm happy to second that motion. Do you wish to speak as the mover of the motion?
Thank you. As the Director has said, arts and culture are really an important part of the whole fabric of our life. It was really good to receive such engaged feedback from stakeholders and to see that these guidelines have taken on that need for clearer processes, being able to get promotional support and digital support through the funding, and that better alignment with Council's priorities. We've previously seen the guidelines. We adopted them for consultation at one of our previous meetings. So this now completes the cycle. Thank you.
Thank you, Administrator Benedika. Just to add to that, as the seconder of the motion, the objective of this review and redevelopment of the guidelines is actually about promoting and making arts and cultural opportunities more readily available across the Shire. And certainly I'm very confident that with the restructuring of the program and the guidelines, that we will see an expanded opportunity for arts and culture across the Shire, which fulfills that objective that we set out to achieve. And I'd also like to thank those members of the community and the arts community particularly who took the opportunity to provide their feedback on the draft guidelines. With that, I will put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 9.1 on today's agenda is the biannual report to the Minister for Local Government, and I'd invite the Manager of Governance, Risk and Performance, Ms Amanda Finn, to present this report.
Thank you, Chair. I am pleased to present the biannual report to the Minister for Local Government covering the period 1st of January to the 30th of June 2026. This report provides the Minister with a transparent account of Council's progress in restoring good governance, rebuilding community trust and strengthening performance. This has been a period of considerable achievement across all areas of Council's operations. Some key highlights. Council responded quickly to the January bushfires affecting Yarrawira, Katamatite and Muckatar, supporting over 200 community members and securing $1.175 million in state and Commonwealth recovery funding. Cash and short-term investments have grown to $55.66 million, and our adjusted underlying result has moved within the target range, a significant turnaround from 24.59% in 2023-24. The 2026-27 annual budget has been adopted within the rate cap. Major milestones include construction commencing on the Yarrawonga Multi-Sport Stadium, completion of the Numurkah Northern Levee Stage 1, 2 significant bridge renewals totalling $2.9 million, and the Yarrawonga Library and Town Hall precinct redevelopment nearing completion. The 2026 Community Satisfaction Survey recorded improvements across every core measure for the first time in many years. Council's overall performance increased by 8 points, double the state average improvement. And a request by the panel of administrators to the Minister for the Victorian Electoral Commission to undertake an electoral structure review will acquit the final Commission of Inquiry recommendation. The recommendation is before you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Ms Finn. I'm happy to move that Council note the biannual report to the Minister for Local Government for the period 1 January to 30 June 2026 as presented in Attachment 1 and noting some minor administrative adjustments will be made to the final report. Is there a seconder for that item? Motion?
I would second that item.
This is a very comprehensive report of the previous 6 months' activities of the Moira Shire Council. And it is an important accountability mechanism of us to report to the Minister on a biannual basis to ensure that our objectives to strengthen governance, to build trust in the community and to deliver a range of activities is being fulfilled. I really do want to thank our staff who have put this report together. It is an incredibly comprehensive report and it really does go to demonstrating the extent of activity that has been underway and particularly to demonstrate some of the measures that we use to assess the strengthening of governance and growing of performance. So I'm very pleased to be supporting this tonight and to be presenting this to the Minister for Local Government as our 6-monthly report. Do you wish to speak as the seconder of the motion?
I would also like to heartily endorse the work of the staff and the community in helping us achieve many of these goals together. It's very heartening to look at the trajectory as mentioned by Ms Finn, certainly in terms of community engagement, response to things that have happened in the community, the fires, for example, and then the progression of the amount of infrastructure development that's been underway, as well as our services that are well in place. The governance, the community satisfaction survey and its being able to be so responsive to the community and then have that feedback from the community has been highlighted in this report. I look forward to the time we're able to present this report and speak to it to the Minister.
Thank you, Administrator Benedicta. With that, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? The motion is carried. Item 10 on this evening's agenda is notices of motion. Mr CEO, are there any notices of motion to be considered tonight?
Through you, Chair, there's no items for item 10, 11, 12 or 13, so we can skip to item 14 on the agenda if you like.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr CEO. Item 14 is public question time, and we have 2 submitters of questions to this evening's meeting. The first of those is from Sally Hutchinson. I think Sally is with us. Sally, do you want to come up to the lectern? Do you want me to read your first question on your way up? Okay. If we deal with question 1 and we'll provide you with a response and then we'll move to your second question.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Right. Question 1. How many solar turbines and AI databanks projects are planned in the Moira Shire and whereabouts, please?
Do you wish to speak to your question or not? Or is it self-explanatory?
I think it's self-explanatory if you'd like to.
Sure. I'll ask the CEO to respond to your question.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Sally, for the question. At this point, Council is not aware of any new solar, wind energy facilities or AI data centres planned within Moira Shire. The Victorian Government has established renewable energy zones, or REZs is the acronym. Moira Shire is not included within these priority areas, and we can provide the link to the VicReg website, which details all those areas.
All right.
Question 2, Sally?
Yeah. What is the Administrator's opinion on all these going across the country?
So, Sally, perhaps I'll respond to that. Renewable energy projects do need to meet very strict land use planning requirements. And these requirements are designed to respect the environments in which these developments are being proposed and particularly any resultant off-site impacts. And as administrators, and we sit as the responsible planning authority under the Planning and Environment Act. When these applications are considered by council, we are required, obviously, to consider those proposed developments on their merits based on those very strict land use planning requirements. So that's our responsibility as the administrators and serving as the responsible planning authority when such applications do come before us.
Right. So you do know the downside of all these, don't you?
We're certainly aware that, and the reason why strict planning, land use planning requirements are in place, because they can have off-site impacts, and they would all be considered as any part of considering the merits of any planning application.
Yeah. So you realise that if they're like solar panels and that neighbouring farms, their insurance goes up. There's a farmer in Texas who said all his cattle have had stillborn calves because of the data centre next door. New York apparently has stopped having data centres. There's Channel 7 had a really good show on Spotlight on the 12th of July this year on Sunday night. It was a really good informative show on data centres. And those people in Melbourne, I didn't realise there was such a huge data centre in the middle of Melbourne, and none of those people that are neighbouring that were informed on the whole deal. And it's a continuous hum the whole time, makes them sick. And it's, so, I mean, you wouldn't want one in your backyard. No one here wants one in our backyard either. So there's a lot of problems with having them anywhere. So that's why if there was a plan to put one, do we get to know that before it's, you know, in the initial plan?
It's probably a matter for the Director of Sustainable Development, but it depends on the type of proposal as to the level of notification. Some are managed by the Minister for Planning, others are administered by councils. So it depends on the type of application, its scope, its scale, etc. Sally.
Yeah, well, I do know that some data centres have been stopped in WA, and I know that there's a big one in Northam that's meant to be going up, and it was actually granted by the council, and it was put up as a shed with a chair and a book in it, and they can get away with that because apparently the government changed the law that they can do that. And it's a data centre.
Okay. All right. I think you've made your point. I'll take those as statements, perhaps rather than questions. We've responded to your question, but you've made your point well.
Good.
Thanks, Sally. The next questioner is Kelly Cooper, and I think Kelly is with us. Okay, sure. So the first question is the Moira Shire Council concerned about the damaged roads owned by Vic Roads within the Moira Shire? So you just want a response to that, Kelly, is what you're looking for? Or can you come up to the mic? Can you come up to the mic? If you want to speak to your question, I'll need you to come up to your microphone.
Sorry. When you ring up, they're still there. I'll bring up. Sorry.
Well, we'll provide a response to your question.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Kelly. And I might address question 2 at the same time, Chair. So the second question was, does the Moira Shire Council report the damaged roads to Vic Roads, knowing some roads are school bus routes? So I guess the answer, Kelly, to your question is, the first question is yes, Council is concerned about the condition of the Victorian Government managed roads within Moira Shire. However, we are aware that this is a statewide issue with road maintenance arrangements not keeping up with the need. In relation to the second question, we do report potholes that we identify through to the Department of Planning for their attention. Additionally, we write, and I certainly write to the Regional Director for roads within our region, highlighting the poor condition of roads over an extended period of time. We've been doing that, as well as it comes up as a matter of discussion when we do meet with the relevant ministers and local members of Parliament as well. But additionally, we do encourage all residents to report potholes and other road defects through the Snap Send Solve app. because that then goes straight back through to the relevant authority. We understand that there are budgetary considerations, but that is a common discussion point. And in fact, we raised that point again this morning in a meeting with the Department of Transport and Planning. But we have no control over how they allocate their funds.
Kelly, we can't entertain commentary from the gallery. You'll need to come to the microphone.
So what about the concerns, the children on the bus and these potholes?
Kelly, I think the concern there is for all road users, whether it's children on a bus or an elderly person or a young person or a P-plater or a motorcyclist. The concern is for all road users, which is why we continually raise these issues through the department and with elected representatives as well. We can't influence the outcome much more than that, but it is, and we are aware that there is a large focus on potholes on Victorian government roads at the moment, particularly. But we've certainly been writing and reporting these over the last 2 or 3 years and will continue to do so.
Yep. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Kelly. And thank you, Sally, also for your questions this evening. There are no additional questions that have been submitted today.
No, Chair.
No. If not, that does take us to the end of this evening's agenda. And there being no further business, I'll declare the meeting closed. And thank you to members of the gallery who have joined us here today and to those members of the community who have joined us via our streaming service again. Thank you, and we'll close this evening's meeting.